Okay, so it's Morton Joe 245, and today we're having a look at Cobra Commander. Okay, so this is Cobra Commander version 1. He was available in 1982 and 1982 only, as this is the straight on figure, and this figure was also a mail away, which he came in a mailer box and you sent out proof of purchases to order him. Okay, so the way you would mail off this figure, for example, I take the Eels file card. Let me zoom out. But as you can see, there's a flag point on the end of on this card here, and you would cut this out, and once you got the right amount you would need, you would send those off, and then this would have come in your mail, which might have been boxed like this one. I'm not sure if this was the one Duke came in or Cobra Commander. It was one of the two, but it would have been like this. Okay, so Cobra Commander has a few rivals to its power, like such as first of all Destro here. Like I explained in video last night, Destro is Cobra's weapon supplier, and they often butt heads because Cobra Commander doesn't want anybody to seize his power, and Destro could possibly do that. Which, keep in mind, Destro helped aid in the creation of Serpentor, which was supposed to be Cobra Commander's replacement. Mine's got a really loose head, he don't want to stay up, but Serpentor was created to replace Cobra Commander with the help of Destro with Dr. Mindbender. Now, it's your personal preference who you prefer to lead Cobra. I prefer Cobra Commander because Cobra Commander is the more military-looking leader to lead a terrorist organization. To me, Serpentor would be more of like an ancient Cobra leader, like somebody from like medieval times, and I always thought the way Serpentor was created was kind of silly, and so Serpentor was never really a character I never really liked. Now, but I reluctantly accepted him. Now, with Cobra Law, that's a completely different story. I'll get into that later, but yeah, I don't like Cobra Law. But if I ever do a review on those, I'll get into that. But okay, so let's take a look at Cobra Commander's accessories. He came with only one, and he just dropped it out of his hand. And this right here is the Venom laser pistol, as it says on the card. Now, this is a pretty, infamous accessory for Cobra Commander, as many Cobra Commander figures have it, and I got two examples here I'll show later. But you see, pretty cool. This top part kind of reminds me of like on a Luger POA pistol, and with this whole thing, it kind of reminds me of sort of like a Borchardt C93, but that wouldn't have a big mass back here if it was like that. But so yeah, this is not based on any real world weapon. Now, Cobra Commander can hold this in his hand, which is kind of a loose fit, but he can't hold it, and he kind of holds it at a weird angle because of he doesn't have swivel arm articulation. But he does have weapon storage. You can plug it onto his back there, and that's supposed to be like a charger for the Venom laser pistol, I believe. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation of Cobra Commander. He had the standard articulation for 82 figures. He's got a swivel at the head, which is kind of tight. He's got a hinge at the elbow, a hinge at his shoulder. That figure is held together with the rubber O-ring, so he has a good range of movement. He's got a ball joint at the hip and a bend at the knee. Okay, so for the sculpt, design, and the colors of this figure, starting with his helmet, I should say, it has the infamous silver faceplate, which is what I think of when I think of Cobra Commander, and the shape of the helmet, which is still like I said with Major Blood, like the Cobra soldier, and you can see, which I think that's supposed to be like his actual head right there, but it's unpainted. But that it kind of flows. If you would put skin color right there, it would totally take away from the look of this figure, I would think. But see his collar right there. He's got like a kind of like a fancy collar with two looks like buttons right there, and you can see it continues down to like an over jacket with his Cobra logo. Now, this is the Mickey Mouse variant, which they later changed it to the real Cobra logo, but this is the early one, which got like the Mickey Mouse looking logo, which these are actually very rare and hard to find, and these go for a lot of money nowadays. And a lot of times too, this faceplate's always scratched up and missing a lot of paint, so that's also a thing to look for. His arms are mostly plain, so you kind of like a cuff right there, and another cuff here with like a band on this arm, which the 82 Cobra Commander utilized all unique parts. Then with the 83 1.5 figure, he shared arms with a Cobra officer. Going onto his back here, you can unplug his Venom laser pistol, and you can see where it would plug in to its charger. You can just plug that back in like so. These are some black straps holding it onto his body, which the straps don't actually continue to his front, which is kind of strange, which I guess you can consider this one of the straps that you can see around his arm here. This is a strap for his charger. Going down, you have his belt with a red belt buckle, which goes all the way around. And his rear end says 1982 Hasbro made Hong Kong. And on his right leg, he has a red stripe that continues all the way down to his foot. On his left leg, he doesn't have a red stripe, but he does have like a dagger on his leg, kind of like a ceremonial dagger or something. And the straps go all the way around his legs. They are painted, and which daggers and stuff like this were also infamously carried by the Nazis during World War II. They carried ceremonial daggers on them, especially high-ranking officers like this. And you go down, and you still got the pants that go around his boots, as you can see. So he's not wearing like the jack boots. Some later Cobra Commanders did wear jack boots, which I think kind of makes a little more sense for Cobra Commander, I guess, because him being like a Nazi-looking terrorist, that would kind of fit his outfit a little bit more. But it's still pretty cool. There's not a whole lot of detail here, but you can kind of get his feet together real close, like he's standing at attention. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure's file card. Now, this file card, unlike the previous one I looked at, this is just the back of a box, because this wasn't on a single card. Now the 1.5 figure from 83 was so Cobra Commander, codename enemy leader, file name classified, military specialty intelligence, secondary military specialty ordnance, experimental weaponry, birthplace classified, commander-in-chief. So his file name and birthplace are classified, and the reason for that is what does it matter what his name and where he was born was? All that is irrelevant to all that remains of him now is Cobra Commander. Absolute power, total control of the world, its people, wealth, and resources. That's the objective of Cobra Commander. This fanatical leader rules with an iron fist, and he demands total loyalty and allegiance. His main battle plan for the world control relies on revolution and chaos. He personally led uprisings in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and other trouble spots, responsible for kidnapping scientists, businessmen, and military leaders, then forcing them to reveal their top-level secrets. So, he it pretty much sounds like a serious terrorist. Cobra Commander is hatred, evil personified, corrupt, a man without scruples, probably the most dangerous man alive. So, I'll tell you, Cobra Commander has no feelings or remorse. All he cares about is ruling the world. Okay, so there are many different versions of Cobra Commander. In the vintage era, there was the version 1.5, which had the updated with long articulation. Then there was the version 2, which was the hooded Cobra Commander, which I don't have either. And then there was version 3 in his battle armor, which I also don't have, which was in 87, I believe. And then in 1991, there was version 3 of Cobra Commander, which was a pretty big departure from the original look. And then there was versions 4 and versions 5, which I can't remember which one was which, but one of them had a sound making thing on it, which is the same figure, just in a different color scheme. And then version 6 was the final version of Cobra Commander in the vintage era, which I don't have it either, but it was in 1994, right in the last year of the vintage era. But post vintage there are many other different versions, which I have a few here, but I don't have all of them because there's a lot of them to try to collect. But here is the 25th anniversary Cobra Commander, which, as you can see, is basically the same design and everything, just updated with different articulation, which I'll do a review on that figure when the time comes. And also I have the hit my camera, the Rise of Cobra Commander, which the card is trying to fall behind the thing there. Me move back there. There we go. And I need to zoom my camera out a little bit. I have the 6-inch declassified Cobra Commander, and the biggest one I have, which is going to take a lot of space here, I have the 12-inch movie version of Cobra Commander from Rise of Cobra, which is pretty large. I'm going to have to turn my camera up a little bit so you can see it. There we go. So as you can see, that's some of the different versions I have. I will do reviews on all of these. The 2 movie versions I have a lot to say because I really don't like that design for Cobra Commander. To me that just does not look like Cobra Commander. And there's some pretty big inaccuracies too with the the face underneath. So but that'll be when the time comes. I'll do that. But as you can see, the movie version does have the same Venom laser pistol. Okay, so for Cobra Commander's media appearances, he appeared in many issues of the G.I. Joe comic books as well as the Sunbow and Deke animated series, where originally and in the '87 animated movie where he was supposed to be deposed of, and Serpentor was going to, from there on, be the leader of Cobra for the 3rd season of Sunbow, which never happened. And then in the Deke animated series, something changed on there, and then Cobra Commander would eventually take back the organization that he created, and would then completely depose of Serpentor. So what do I think of this figure overall? I really like this figure, and it's one of my personal favorites. Especially that Mickey Mouse logo is just really cool. And now, like I said, I will always prefer Cobra Commander over Serpentor because I just like his whole look and everything, just his whole backstory, and just to me it just makes a lot more sense. It's more realistic. And something you could physically be Cobra Commander. I mean, technically, you guess you could dress like Serpentor, but I mean, you couldn't create Serpentor the way he was created in the show, in the comic books. That would be physically impossible. So feel free to comment and tell me what you think, and thanks for watching.